So, so yeah. So, what I learned is they love logic. And so with an attorney, you could say, hey, what do you think about this? Nah, I don't really. Okay, well, have you considered this and you considered that? Oh, well, tell me more. Whereas like maybe with some other verticals, when you start talking to them and you get into that convincing mode, they get angry very quickly,
Right.
or they get defensive. And so, like I said, with attorneys, that has enabled me to kind of just stay in my lane, use logic, and not make false rapport and all that other stuff. It's just like, hey, I'm not going to waste your time. I'm going to tell you what I do, how it helps you. If you like it, let's work together. If not, see you later. And attorneys have always appreciated that approach versus other approaches that you can take in the sales industry.
So you've worked with attorneys all around the world, or just mainly in the United States?
Just the U.S. You go into other countries and there's a couple issues. First of all, languages, but most other like major English-speaking Australia, England, its marketing is about 50 years behind where we are as far as mind frame. And
Okay.
so, it's very tough versus here. They understand. There's like, I don't know, 3 million attorneys. There's like 400,000 law firms in the United States. So you take 400,000 law firms for how much business? You have to be hyper competitive. It's a hyper competitive industry.
So now, where is your sweet spot when it comes to working with like, if I have a law firm, or I know somebody that has a law firm and I want to refer you or use you myself, where's kind of like your sweet spot for all this?
Honestly, anybody whose differentiating factor is their particular skill set or knowledge set. What we do is we use authoritative positioning to help our clients. And so authoritative positioning is different than thought leadership. Thought leadership emanates from me outwards. Authoritative positioning pays attention to who I want to come to me. And when they come to me, I want to make sure they view me as an authority. So I create a client journey to me through podcasting, through social media, through content on my website, through consultations, through webinars, whatever it is, where when they come to me, they're not coming to me saying, yeah, you're like the 8th attorney I've called. Just tell me your rates and I'll see if I hire you. They're calling saying things like, and I listened to your podcast. I watched some of your videos. I really feel like you could help me. What is it going to cost me to be able to work with you? And that's totally different. Although it's at its core the same question, it's a totally different question.
Right. Yeah. It's because, there's a lot of bad marketers out there. I know I've run into them with my business as well. As, a lot of these guys or girls that go out and they start a marketing business or try to get into a genre, let's just say, and, you spend thousands of dollars with no result. And a lot of times with marketing, it's more about getting your brand and your name out there, but people still expect results. And, when you're finding people that are not accomplishing that task, it makes it a little bit difficult to overcome people's fears of working with that type of career field.
Mm-hmm. Well, yes. And here's what I would say, when attorneys say that to me, I love to use this illustration. I say, listen, first of all, an industry being called dishonest, let's be honest and say, we probably have some kinship and some similar feelings about what people have said about us. But beyond that, like when me and my brother, we got divorced about a year apart from each other. My brother got divorced first. We make about the same amount of money. We lived in different states, but we make about the same amount of money. And he got a divorce and he got a high powered, I think he spent like 25, 30 grand on his attorney, quite a bit of money in my opinion for, a process that shouldn't have taken that much money. But by the end of it, even though he paid 25 grand more than that to have a lawyer, by the end of it, he was living on our uncle's couch, hand to mouth, making well over 200 grand a year. Right? Because of just all this stuff. And I was just like, wow, okay. So when I got a divorce a year later, do you think I said, you know what? All lawyers they just steal from you. Look at my brother. I mean, no, I just didn't go to that lawyer.
Right.
And so there's bad actors in every field. Roofers. I mean, how many ripoff things that we heard about people doing with being a roofer? But there's great roofers out there too. So I think sometimes we use our own personal experiences as the rule of thumb. And when you look at the percentage, I would say a good percentage of the marketers out there, and I don't know the numbers, but let's just say 75, 80, maybe even 90%, I think we have the right intentions at heart. Some people can't deliver because of their lack of skill. Maybe it wasn't intention, it was just ability to deliver. Some people don't deliver because they are ripping you off. They get your money and they run. Some of them, it's because of the client and the relationship and the dynamic. Because, like, for us, what I tell my clients is, listen, if you're hiring a vendor that you pay to tell what to do, that's not us. We're a partner that is going to co-invest time to help your practice be successful. So if you don't see us as a partner that you work with to help accomplish this, and it's just somebody you throw money at and say, do this for me, we're probably not a fit to work with each other.
Yeah, and with attorneys, the interesting thing is, and I don't know a lot of other professions. Maybe the medical field might fall into this a little bit, but there are limited, I don't want to say limited, I'll say regulated onto how they're allowed to market in most states. A lot of times they have to, if they want to do like a print ad or a television commercial, they have to get it approved by that state's bar. I've run into that bunch. So my brother's an attorney, and he tells me all the time, like, I have to kind of watch what I say and how I put it out there, because I can get in trouble. I can get a bar complaint. I can lose my license. It depends on what it is. Do you help the attorneys overcome that, those issues with the bar and stuff?
Yes. We're well aware of the different bar needs. Digital's kind of flipped a lot of that on its head. It's almost still like the bar will like take your license for a bad newspaper ad, but you could have a website with like lies and slander and whatever else. Yeah, I've won $50 billion in cases. I've never lost a PI case. No injury that I've ever helped has gotten less than $10 million. And like, you know what I mean? So digital is a little behind in a lot of states. But what I've really found is most bars are either forgiveness or permission. There's very few permission states. And if they're a permission state, then they have to create a mechanism where an email address or whatever it is that they can get it back to you in a certain amount of time. And so what we'll do is we'll just package the content, send it over to the bar if that's what's required. If it's a permission state, send it over to the bar, they approve it, the client looks at it, great, and then we send it out.